Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thanks for coming to my channel. This is Yaya or Alma, whichever you prefer. And today we are going to make, and hopefully you'll learn and you'll give it a try and let me know down below, or video yourself and tag me in it, of yourself making fritters. We're gonna make apple fritters. So I got really excited. I found out there was a reprint of a cookbook from 1927. Here, I'll show it to you guys. Tasted and approved, Good Housekeeping Institute. It's called Good Meals and How to Prepare Them. And it's a reprint. So this, this recipe is almost 100 years old, or probably older, because, it was printed in 1927. I've adjusted it a little bit. First, I'm going to say I am using Red Mill 1-to-1 baking flour, and this is gluten-free. Now, I don't have a gluten allergy. I don't have celiacs. We have someone in our family, a beloved family member, who has allergy to gluten. Thankfully, it's not celiacs, and I'm sorry to those who do have celiacs. So, we've tried different flours, and I'm so excited that we can use this flour. It's 1-to-1, so use it just like flour. You don't have to add anything else because it has, oh, here we go, everything added to it already. But I'm really excited. So if you don't have a gluten allergy and you want to use regular flour, you're going to use it just the same as this. Or if you have a gluten allergy, this bread, thumbs up, thumbs up. We've used it to make these fritters before, and they come out exactly the same. I can't tell you how excited I am. Because people we love, they couldn't have certain things. So when you can find something that's comparable and it tastes the same, it's always a good thing. So come on and join me, and hopefully you'll learn something good and you'll be excited. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We are going to begin with our dry ingredients first. I have a strainer, and I'm going to use it as a sifter. It doesn't say to do this, but I like to do this just to make sure I don't have lumps. So again, this flour is 1-to-1, so you can use it exactly like you use regular flour. So, and for those who want to use regular flour, again, it's just regular flour you can use. Okay, so here, 1 cup of flour. Next is 1.5 teaspoons powder, so 1.5. Next is going to be 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now we're going to sift it all down. And again, I like to do this just to ensure there are no lumps. I always forget to mention that, but my hands are clean. They are washed. When we're cooking for people, obviously their health is in our hands, right? And I definitely don't want to make anyone sick. So there it is. It's ready. Next is the wet ingredients. So you take 1 egg and 1/3 cup of milk. And then my own personal add-in is Mexican vanilla. This recipe does not call for vanilla in the batter, but I found that it actually tastes better with vanilla, so I add it. If you don't want to add it, don't add it. The recipe doesn't call for it, but I do like vanilla, so we're gonna add about 1/2 capful to 1 capful. Mix well. Okay, when you're done mixing, it should look like this. It's a very thick batter, and this will make 5 to 6 fritters. But what we have to do now, I'm not going to show myself cutting all of the apples, but I'm going to show you. Cutting up fresh apples. I'm using these yellow apples. Use the apples that you find the tastiest and the sweetest. It says 3 apples, so you can use 3 apples, 3 medium apples. All right, we have the 3 apples cored and diced. Put them in with the batter. And I know it seems like, wow, that's a lot of apple, but it's an apple fritter, you know? Anyways, okay, so I'm gonna mix this up into the batter, and then we're gonna walk you over to the stove, and we're gonna drop this into the oil, the hot oil. Stay tuned. I have my stove on, letting the oil heat up. The apples in the batter are mixed up really well. I don't know if you can see this. Here we go. I have this little handy dandy scooper to scoop it up with. And I also have a plate with paper towels to catch the oil after it's done. And then another tray to transfer it to, so that when I'm done getting the oil off of them fritters, they'll be ready. And the last part, which is cinnamon sugar, and I will be sprinkling it on the fritters, and then we will make a glaze to go over the fritters. So the first thing you want to do is try to add a little bit of batter to the oil to see if it's ready. Like, this is not ready, it's not bubbling yet. So we'll just let it set. It'll start bubbling soon, and when it does, that means the oil is ready. I filled up this pan, and it's about a quarter full of oil. You can use any type of fat. I chose canola oil. It doesn't affect the flavor, and it's a little bit healthier than real fat, but I know it tastes so good, doesn't it? But yeah, we're just gonna do canola oil for now. And I don't know if you can see, but it's starting to bubble. You see it bubbling a little bit? It's gonna start bubbling soon, and then it'll mean the oil is ready. And before we get started, I want you to see how the batter just floats in the oil. You want to make sure when it first goes in, you know, give it a few, like 5-10 seconds, and then try to move it around, because you don't want it sticking to the pan no matter what, okay? Because if it sticks to the pan, it might burn. So we don't want that. All right, it's beginning to bubble a little bit, so we're going to let it get a little bit hotter, a little bit closer to low heat. So you take a spoonful of batter, and this is a large spoon. And you can spread the batter out a little bit. You know, they're not going to be huge fritters, but that's okay. And again, now that it's in there and it's been a few seconds, you can try moving it. See, it's moving. This one moved on its own. Just to make sure it doesn't stick. And you fry it up like that. And you only keep it on a low setting of heat. It doesn't have to be high. You don't want them to burn. What I'm going to do now is try to flip the little piece over to see if it's golden enough. No, not quite yet, so that's the one that gives me a hint of how they're doing. You want it to be golden on one side. Keep moving it around, giving it time. Give the process time. And I'm excited to be doing this because, okay, I do love pumpkin, but I feel that apples for the last 10-15 years haven't been getting the love that they deserve. And it's apple time also, not just pumpkins, apples. So if you have an apple orchard by you, go pick some apples. Go make some apple bread and apple fritters. You will not regret it. While we're waiting on our apple fritters, I'm going to make glaze to go on top of the fritters. So you just add 2 or 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar to this bowl, and then a little bit of milk and a little bit of vanilla. So less than half a cupful. And stir. And that right there is our glaze for our fritters. And we're just gonna brush this on with a brush after the fritters have their cinnamon. That's your glaze. See how thick it is? Okay, here comes the hard part. I'm gonna flip them over. And I'll probably have to flip it back over again because it's not overly golden, but it's good. And let's flip this one. Yeah, they're not super brown, but it's okay. They're looking good. Okay, I'm gonna check to see if it's cooked. All I'm gonna do is take my little knife and stab it in there. And if it comes out clean, that means the batter's cooked. That one has a little bit still, so we'll just give it another quick second. We can actually flip it around again. Because we don't want them to burn, overcook. So our fritters are fully cooked. I'm going to take them out of the oil and try to let the oil run off. Just sprinkle cinnamon sugar liberally on it. Our apple fritters are done. I'm going to be glazing them. And again, all this is a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of powdered sugar, and a little bit of milk. And what you do is you brush it on, and that is how you glaze them. Anyways, I want to thank you for being here today with me, and I hope you get inspired to make these. And if you do try them, let me know how they turned out, or make a video, or take a picture and post them to me on Facebook under Yayuna's Journeys, or you know, do a video and tag me in it, or do a TikTok and tag me in it. I'm on all 3 social medias. I love you. Have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching. Bye.